USL League One on ESPN Plus is presented by Pedicure, Children's Clinic, and Urgent Care. A pair of first-year clubs come to Cabinets Athletic Center, where the waters were choppy early, but both ships have found their course. Corpus Christi FC come off back-to-back wins, while Sarasota Paradise have won 3 of their last 4. Hello and welcome, I'm Ryan Lee. Thank you for joining us. Corpus Christi have found something since their 10-game winless drought to start the season. Not only with points in 4 of their last 5, but now they sit with only 3 points outside of the top 10, where they could potentially match 2025 expansion side Westchester SC and Portland Hearts of Pine if they can secure a 3rd consecutive win this evening. Especially for the Sharks, who are coming off of back-to-back wins, which is not only their 1st and 2nd wins since joining USL League One, but for Coach Ayman Zayed, he called it a huge relief, saying it was one of the biggest monkeys off of their backs. Moments like the comeback win against Portland, where they scored 2 goals in stoppage time, is where things can truly change for the better. And catapulting that into a clean sheet win against Richmond in what Coach Zayed categorized as the most dominant win of the season so far. And not only can they carry that momentum going forward, but they have to use it against the Sarasota side, who are back in the top 10 for the first time since they beat Corpus Christi back in April. For the Paradise, a win can catapult them into the top 6, but they also sit 1 point from the playoff line. Not only do they have new optimism, but they really have defined and redefined their expectations since the last time out, where they beat the team at the top of the table in Union Omaha. It's not just in the results, but within the room. Emiliano Tazaki was brought in 8 days ago and made an instant impact. 2 goal contributions as a halftime sub and a 2-0 win against Omaha. Coach Ilavara says that they see the numbers, now it's time for them to see the example. The Sharks are feasting, but they're hungry for more. Sarasota have their eyes locked in on the playoff line. The USL League One on ESPN Plus is presented by Pedicure, Children's Clinic, and Urgent Care. Lineups and kickoff are next.
Pedicure, Children's Clinic, and Urgent Care, caring for healthy futures. Listen to Mom.
I love that they always have openings. They're always, available. You can come in usually the same day, so I'm glad that they have that. And like I said, the location's great, so it's convenient. I like that.
Open till 9 p.m. weekdays and 7 p.m. weekends. We are a pediatric primary care and urgent care facility for children. Pedicure, Children's Clinic, and Urgent Care, caring for healthy futures.
Corpus Christi has brought professional soccer to the Coastal Bend. A team you can be proud of, rally around, and celebrate with. Come see the goal celebrations, the passion, and the high intensity.
Line out front, hammered from the spot, and the save again by Talbot. Strikes, what a goal!
For 18 high-energy home matches, come show the nation Corpus Christi has the best fans. Tickets are on sale now for every match at corpuscfc.com.
We make our way to Cabinets Athletic Complex in Corpus Christi, Texas, as the USL League One is presented by Pedicure, Children's Clinic, and Urgent Care. For Sarasota, they have won 3 of the last 4, while Corpus Christi are coming off of back-to-back wins, their 1st and 2nd ever in USL League One. We take a look at the starting 11s for both Corpus Christi and Sarasota. We start with Corpus Christi making a single change since their last match against the Richmond Kickers. The back 5 remains unchanged, where James Talbot is starting in his 3rd consecutive match. Ian Kwaka slots in the midfield after Andrew Booth took an injury. And Blake Bowen, he's listed on the left side of the midfield, but Abayal and Keegan are the pair up top. All three have played in all three rules. Expect a little bit of shifting and versatility to be a part of the formula tonight. As for Sarasota Paradise, they're making 2 changes since their shutout win against Union Omaha. The back 5 is unchanged once again, with Amadeka in his 3rd League One start. He got 2 wins in his first 2 starts and a clean sheet last time against Omaha. Ethan Bryant is in the midfield. 47 USL League One matches started, and Garrett McLaughlin leads the forward line. Not only one of the top goal scorers in League One history, but 136 appearances in USL League One. We make our way to Cabinets Athletic Complex here in Corpus Christi, where the Sharks and the Paradise are both 2 of the hottest teams on the bottom end of the table. And although that's where they sit at the moment, that does not really encapsulate what they've done all season long, as both teams have an opportunity to climb further within the standings. For Sarasota, a win would push them above the playoff line for the first time since the win that they had against Sarasota back at Premier Sports Campus back in Florida, and they haven't been back above the top 10 sits. That's where Sarasota sit today. And for Corpus Christi, a lot of momentum on their side. 2 wins, their first 2 wins since joining USL League One. They could go even further in their run if they can take care of business at home, where they're unbeaten in 4 of 5 matches here in Texas. Sarasota will start in the white and green. They'll go left to right, while in the all blue will be Corpus Christi as we get started here in Corpus Christi, where the Sharks and the Paradise are a part of a heavy slate of games across USL League One. Ryan Leonard, our ESPN Plus crew, we thank you for joining us. And a quick start here for Keegan as that forces Amadeka off his box, and that forces it into the stands. Good to see Amadeka back on his feet, the 18-year-old. He turns 19 only a matter of days from now on the 23rd. But he has had a very promising start to his young USL League One career. 2 wins, 2 starts, and the clean sheet last time out against the #1 team on the table in Union Omaha, as slowly makes its way back and forth. Abayal in a battle. They'll push it ahead for Bowen. Here's Blake Bowen on the near side. Waters in pursuit, dragged down, no whistle. It's going to take a lot to shut down one of the up-and-coming playmakers in all of USL League One. Not only can he pass, he can also score. And that time it is Bubu Medina, the goal scorer in last match versus Richmond, who draws the first yellow card of the match, and we've got more activity coming up. So that's Bubu Medina, who is down on the ground. He scored the game-winning goal against Richmond, not only putting him as a member of the team of the week, but when you look at some of the blooming offensive producers on this Corpus Christi lineup, Medina is one of them, as you saw a couple hacks and whacks coming in late from Aaron Walker. We'll have to see what the official marking is on that yellow card, but what we do know is it will be a free kick favoring Corpus Christi. And this is an opportunity for the Sharks, considering that they've been really struggling to defend on set pieces, but one place where they have been able to excel is attacking set pieces, as they'll get their first one of the match only about 2.5 minutes in. Now we're closing in on 3 by the time all of that extracurricular activity was done and over with. About 33 yards out, Bowen and Dietrich. It's Bowen, driven low and slapped away. It'll stay with Corpus Christi on the throw. Only 3 minutes it took for Aaron Walker to get a second yellow card of the season. He did turn 36 at the beginning of the month, did Walker. Tossed in, still up for grabs. Bowen with a tip before it's skied away. Karani can't track. He does on the second try. Out of play, it'll go back to Corpus Christi. What a run it's been for the Sharks. 2 wins across their last 2 matches, both of which were at home, including points in 4 of their last 5. Edge of the area, crosses blocked. Second try, gets tipped. Bowen couldn't control. Whistle down as Bowen was offside, but that is some of the individual talent that Corpus Christi does have. They just haven't been able to really exploit other teams in that regard. And you could very clearly see here, well before the ball comes, it was a little far ahead of Reed Valentine. But those first and second wins of the season, probably more monumental than anything. Not just the fact that they won, but how they did so. It took a pair of goals in second half stoppage time to take down Portland Hearts of Pine, including a 98th minute corner, which did eventually seal that first win of the season for Corpus Christi after having the League One record longest winless run to begin expansion season with 10. However, those 10 matches may be a little bit misleading because you did have 5 draws and 5 losses within that, so they were still able to accumulate points despite not having the win, but that monkey off the back really allowed to generate new confidence, especially with Eamon Zayed noting that you can have a singular moment where things can change either for the better or for the worse. And hopefully for Corpus Christi, they can continue the trend upward. Slanted out, Shannon Gomez regained possession as he settles back towards Dietrich. Sends it across, Medina elevates, does get it there. A try from a range, and the attempted cross towards Keegan is held on by Amadeka. Feeling under the weather, Pedicare is Corpus Christi's trusted home for pediatric and urgent care. Visit Pedicare at Yorktown and Cimarron Boulevard. Sarasota in this early half a dozen minutes struggling to get any sort of meaningful possession past that halfway line. And this will be a little more the same as Karani gives it right back to Corpus Christi. But these two have played once before. This is the second of 2 meetings between these two. The first one was back on April 22nd, back in Lakewood Ranch, and probably a favorable result towards Sarasota, considering they did win that one 2-1. This is that last foul on Karani, just got the little leg hook there. But not only when looking back at that game, Eamon Zayed saying that it was probably the worst performance of the season to this point so far. And there were only 2 games all year where they just, beginning to end, just did not have it in any way, shape, or form. It was a 3-0 shutout earlier on, just a couple of weeks back, and then that other game in Sarasota was the other one where just everything just seemed to not have gone their way, where Sarasota really had their way with Corpus Christi the entire game. And for this match, they want to show a much different team than the last one they saw 2 months ago, especially if Sarasota have the time and space to do what they do best. They will have their way with the Sharks. There's some of the notes made by Corpus Christi coach Eamon Zayed as O'Dwyer twirls out of pressure. Walker. Stolen right back by Corpus Christi. Keegan at the center circle. Bowen, too far for him. Reed Valentine cycles back. Valentine goes deep. Gomez will win the race back towards James Talbot, who makes his first touch of the match. Gomez harassed by the corner, spins away from Karani. Rosa cuts up the feed from Medina. Back and forth they go for Anderson, Rosa, and Bolaños on the near side. Bolaños and Rosa occupying that far left side. Something that Eamon Zayed said were the best left side units of the entirety of League One. Feeling under the weather, Pedicare is Corpus Christi's trusted home for pediatric and urgent care. Visit Pedicare at Yorktown and Cimarron Boulevard. Still looking for the first shot attempt in the first 10 minutes in, but usually these early portions of the matches can tend to be a feeling out process. But when you have both teams coming in on really strong runs, you might have that little bit of caginess to start off with as Bowen takes a foul on the offensive side on Valentine. Reed Valentine, the second season that he's been on an expansion franchise. He was a part of the Texoma 2025 unit last year. Today is his 30th start across the 2 years on the two teams, as it's chopped down by Ethan Bryant. Attempted to keep it in play, unable to do so. As you have a man down to ground that appears to be Enoch Kwakwa. A lot of the physicality and the scuffles have been on this near side so far. You had that yellow card from Aaron Walker only 2 minutes into the match. And you might have some attention on the side as well. For Enoch Kwakwa, this is his 49th appearance in USL League One regular season play. For the 31-year-old Ghanaian midfielder, reuniting with Eamon Zayed after spending last season in the 3rd division of Sweden. Actually a place where he spent the early portion of his career. He spent about 9 years overseas in Europe between the various divisions in Sweden, Norway, and England before coming to the USL for the first time with Charleston in 2022. A couple of years with Northern Colorado with Eamon Zayed, goes back to Sweden, goes back with Eamon Zayed this year. Back in the middle, Bryant alone, he chips it too high. Some nice hustle by the ball boy as Ethan Bryant was a mile above the bar, but way to get behind Roscoe to at least give yourself a lane, and he just had eyes on James Talbot for what is likely the first shot attempt of the match. Bryant still yet to get that first goal with the Paradise. Waters uses his frame to push it ahead. Kwakwa back in play, scrapping with O'Dwyer. Although there hasn't really been any major chances yet, this could potentially be a spot where the game could blow open as time goes on, considering that these two are amongst the top 3 in terms of goals allowed. Corpus Christi's 22 are in the top 3. Sarasota's 24 are the second most goals allowed in USL League One. So maybe not in the early portion yet, but this game most certainly has potential to blow open considering the respective defensive deficiencies early on. But both teams have been able to clean it up as of late. Both teams are coming off of a clean sheet against Richmond for Corpus Christi and against Omaha for Sarasota. Off the gut, Nacho Abeal. Space closes, outside for Dietrich. Curls it, headed away. Chased down by Bolaños, he clears. Turnover, Bryant had the first shot for Sarasota. He stays along the sideline, back in, aiming for McLaughlin. And a foul against Sarasota. Fans, don't miss a second of the action. Skip the lines and order your favorites right from your seat. Browse and order from sportscertified.com, powered by iHerb. Packed with cleaner ingredients and made for game day. Corpus Christi progressing on the near side. As both of these two are 2 of the 5 expansion sides in this 2026 campaign, matching the number from last year. As Valentine almost coughed it up to Bowen. Bowen fighting for it, cuts back. Bowen punched out by Amadeka, and this forces what should be the first corner of the match. How scrappy is Blake Bowen? He's been all over Corpus Christi's offense over the last couple of months. He gets back in the mix once again and forces the first save of the match from either keeper and forces the first corner of the match 17 minutes in. All corner kicks are brought to you by Corpus Christi Athletic Club. Live happy. Jackson Dietrich is on it. Served in. Swatted away by Sarasota. But Karani lost control deep in his own territory. For Sarasota, there's a bit of a question mark on how things would go in the early portion of the season, especially because they've just been trying to grind through regaining form after a really tough start to the 2026 campaign, especially for Mika Ilavara. A lot of deficiencies have been from the penalty box and inward, both on the offensive side and defensive, as Keegan cuts back. Medina cycles back around for Gomez. Corpus Christi come in 2-5-5. Both wins came in the last 2 matches against Portland and against Richmond. Both of which were late game winners. In the Portland match, it was in the 90+8. And for the game against Richmond, it was in the final quarter hour, 73 minutes into that match. O'Dwyer, one of the many former Richmond kickers on this team. Granted, Coach Ilavara was a Richmond Kickers assistant for about 6 years before taking the head job here. He even spent the last 3 years as the technical director of the Kickers Academy, something that he prides himself on in this new position with Sarasota. The youth developing from within, and how that can evolve into an overall greater club culture, especially over the last several weeks where it's been a bunch of some of the searching for those culture builders for Sarasota. Crossed in, punched up by Amadaka again. However, this one won't go out for a corner, but it will be a throw-in for Corpus Christi. Corpus Christi forcing Amadaka to work. That's the second time he's had to reach up and get the hands out, and you saw in the last sequence maybe a little bit of discomfort in that right shoulder. You can see it all bandaged up on that right arm, but he's still pushing through. Already a tough kid at 18. Returned back to the middle. Too short. Waters heads it out. Met by Kwakwa. And well out of play. And Enoch Kwakwa is down on the ground once again. Right after we saw the medical crew examining the head and face area. There was the contact, and you just saw Kwakwa and Karani go body for body. Karani does have a pretty decent advantage in the size department in that collision. The 5'9", 160 Sean Karani versus the 5'5", 134 Enoch Kwakwa. When those two meet, that's just a matter of mass. Don't miss a moment of this inaugural season in Corpus Christi. Tickets are on sale now for all Corpus Christi FC matches. Buy yours today at corpuscfc.com or call 361-225-3316. Still only one shot attempt per side. And we have more of the tweets from our head official, John Amato, Melissa Beck, Edwin Moturi, and Edgar Garcia are our crew. Gomez got the touch, only as far as Valentine. Walker the swing. McLaughlin couldn't get around Roscoe. When you feel hunger strike, there's only one cure, and that's to eat more chicken. Visit one of 9 Chick-fil-A locations throughout the Coastal Bend today and try the latest menu item, Jalapeno Ranch Club. Download the Chick-fil-A app and start earning rewards for every purchase made. Still zeros across the board, just past the halfway mark of the first 45. Shannon Gomez got a late yellow card in that sequence as well. Shannon Gomez spent the last couple of years at San Antonio of Trinidad and Tobago, comes in the offseason for this inaugural side, has started in all 13 matches for Aben Zayed this year. not many players on this entire roster can say that they've started all 12 games so far. The only other one being his opposite fullback partner, Petty Langlois. Falls kindly for Dietrich. Keegan. Bowen. Spins out of one pressure, but not the other. Sarasota reclaim. Keegan across the middle, Kwakwa up. Medina slithers back. Abeal for Medina, back for Abeal, not to Abeal, in the middle, the back heel, they score! Jake Keegan, his first as a Shark, and the first of this game. Jake Keegan using the experience, getting crafty inside of the penalty area. What a feed here, gets it back from Abeal, and Keegan taking on defenders one-on-one. He knew that he had space in the keeper out of position, so just sends out the back heel. And with Amadeka way out of position, it's just Keegan and the open net. Valentine could only get a touch. It's been a minute since Jake Keegan has scored a goal or even gotten a goal contribution of any kind. Only one assist this season. That was back in March 28th, as all goals are brought to you by Pedicare, Children's Clinic and Urgent Care, proudly caring for the next generation. First time he scored this year. Goal number 33 in USL League One, but across all pro levels, including some of his time overseas in Ireland. That's goal number 101. Now for Corpus Christi, they have a really unique opportunity because it hasn't been until very recently that they started having the ability to get on the board first. Even for Corpus Christi, that's the first time scoring within the first half an hour. Maybe they're hunting for more. Bowen outside, Langlois in, Abeal couldn't keep it. Back for Dietrich. And Medina will maintain possession for Corpus Christi. But that's something new for Ayman Zayed's squad. They haven't been able to get any goals within the first 30 minutes. They've actually had a lot of their best chances from the 30-minute to 45-minute window, according to Coach Zayed. And he hasn't really figured out why that might be the case. But in the most recent matches, he talked about how the guys themselves were getting frustrated because they were getting chances and not bearing. They'd come into halftime tied instead of having a 1 or 2 goal advantage. And he said that's a positive thing. We're getting frustrated for the right reasons. It means we are trending in the right direction. And not only have they been able to rattle off those first 2 wins, but they have the early lead here today as Valentine cuts back, maybe a response for Sarasota, but you had a whole body of blue in there. A little bit that triangle offense is eventually squirts free, and Medina was offside. Rosa around for Bolaños. Stretching it deep. Langlois so efficient in that left back slot, in that right back slot, before it's dislodged by Rosa the other way. McLaughlin clips it. Bolaños. Bolaños escapes pressure. Looks for relief in Walker and Waters. Keeney keeping McLaughlin to the outside, and it forces Corpus Christi's ball. With two expansion sides, all sorts of pedigree within this match. Jake Keegan, sole possession of fourth place in all of USL League One history, but when you look at all the goal scorers within this game, you have 4 of the top 5 rostered between Sarasota and Corpus Christi. Despite Christian Chaney not having played since the first week of May, you still have all sorts of pedigree with Emiliano Terzaghi joining Sarasota only 8 days ago. Garrett McLaughlin starting 11 of 15 with Sarasota so far in his age 28 season. And Jake Keegan getting his first of the season, sole possession of fourth place in what is now his age 35 season, the former Binghamton Bearcat. Along the far sideline, cuts in, still loose. Bryant gets a swing, that's blocked. Bowen hustles back, he can do it on both ends, and that's cleared out of play. One 0 in the 30 seconds. Jake Keegan scored the opening goal in the 25th. The helper came from Nacho Abeal. What a tandem that's worked out to up top between Abeal and Keegan. Not only does Keegan take sole possession of fourth place in League One goals, but for Nacho Abeal, he breaks a tie with Blake Bowen in the team lead of assists. He now has 4. Anderson Rosa tosses it in. Rosa, part of the Week 14-15 Team of the Week after his game-winning goal against Union Omaha last time out. What a lane. Keegan on one, might have 2! Keegan gets creative to double down for Corpus Christi. What a run this has been for Jake Keegan. This all starts off by a beautiful slide from Nacho Abeal. Just forcing Amadeus to hustle back. He gets the back heel on the first goal, and he chips Amadeka on the second. Just slides it around. A very gentle chip to just get a bit of elevation. Slides it in the back of the net. And what a run it's been for Keegan. Only 2 goals in a span of 8 minutes. That is another goal brought to you by Pedicare Children's Clinic and Urgent Care, proudly caring for the next generation. That was a point of contention when Eamon Zayed talked to us, how they couldn't get those chances early. Well, they found their first goal in the opening half an hour. How about two within the first 35? Maybe a chance for Sarasota through the legs of Bolaños. Chased down by Langlois. A lot of the action on the far side despite about a 12-mile-per-hour wind heading on Sarasota's right, Corpus Christi's left. Karani slants up the center, met by Roscoe. And late contact from Dietrich on Bryant. Enter the Prinks Tires USL Cup Game Day Kit Sweepstakes for your chance to win a prize pack up to $2,000. Scan the QR code on the screen and enter today. It's a bit staggering for Corpus Christi to think that it took them basically 3 whole months to get the first goal of the game. It was in that match on May 23rd against One Knox where they eventually had a draw. But since then, you have the comeback win against Portland, you get the first and only goal against the Richmond Kickers, and you not only get 1 but 2 on Sarasota going in. So since that Knoxville match in regular season play, they've scored first in 3 of the last 4. And they've at the very least, so far, have turned those opening goals into 4 total points. And considering they couldn't find a win to save their lives in the first 10 matches in regular season play, finding new form and new confidence most certainly can go a long way. Even Miko Ilavara, the head coach of Sarasota, just talking about the intensity of his Coach Zayed teams, having coached against Eamon Zayed when he was leading the way with Northern Colorado Hailstorm, and even in the tail end of his playing career, how no matter who Zayed's team is, they're never short of feisty, and this is another example of that, as it'll be a Corpus Christi yellow card. You have the jersey tug on Keeney, and that will be another one against Corpus Christi. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesday nights at 7 Eastern. Plus hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more on Sirius XM FC 157 in the Sirius XM app. We just talked about how Corpus Christi have been able to find some of their hot starts for Sarasota as the cross-in is blocked out by Roscoe. They've had trouble recouping points in deficits. 11 times they've conceded the first goal this season, have Sarasota. Only 4 points they've been able to claim back. Played back towards Valentine, but taken away by Bowen. Bowen dislodged. O'Dwyer. End to end for Bolaños. Langlois all over. Bolaños leads it for Karani. Karani on a double team. Uses Bryant as the escape hatch. We've already seen how this battle of the two, these two rookie teams have really turned up a notch, especially on an 81-degree day here in Texas. Good to know the environment down on the pitch matches exactly that. Bryant lofted too far. Sarasota Paradise really have to be able to find ways to maximize every single game that they have at their disposal, especially because their 15 matches played in the regular season is the most amongst League One teams. This is actually the only team that has reached the halfway mark in terms of their games played in the season. This is game number 16 of 32 for Sarasota Paradise. For Corpus Christi, they're a couple games shy of that. This is only game 13 for them. And when you consider the outlook of the rest of USL League One prior to this evening's match, you had 2 teams with 14 points, and you have at least 12 teams with fewer than a dozen games played. And with Sarasota having those extra matches already flushed in and already decided, that can really make things tight going forward. What a ball this is forward as Rosa tries to cut it back, but the reception not there for McLaughlin, but it is there for Talbot. Select is the official match ball supplier of the USL. From grassroots to the pros, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for latest products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. McLaughlin, outlets for Bryant. Still the Paradise working in to their first corner. Ethan Bryant ready for service. Top of the box, Bolaños back in the mix. Still alive, Bolaños again. No one but Roscoe on the Valentine feed before it's chipped out. Anderson Rosa, the last man back. And retreats towards Ambedeka. Corpus Christi coming off back-to-back wins. Sarasota comes in winning 3 of 4. Both teams come off a clean sheet, but so far, only Corpus Christi have remained perfect defensively. Both goals coming from Jake Keegan, 8 minutes apart in the 25th and 33rd. However, the distributions came separately as Blake Bowen got an assist on the second goal, which means him and Nacho Abeal remain in lockstep, co-leading the team with 4 assists apiece. Keegan. Dietrich centers for Medina, coming in late. Here's a chance, outside, stopped by Amadeka. You had all the steam from Nacho Abeal, but it will come back for a corner. What a chance this was for Corpus Christi. They've really found something the last several games. Things have just been working, going outside towards Nacho Abeal, trying to get him into the mix for potentially his first goal of the season, but nothing comes from the 18-year-old keeper Amadeka for the second corner of the match. All corners brought to you by Corpus Christi Athletic Club. Live happy. Swung in, back post. Roscoe's over. Gotta appreciate some of the confidence of Sam Roscoe, especially because you have those two towering center backs between the 6'2" Jack Keeney and the 6'4" Sam Roscoe. And Roscoe even scoring the game winner on a corner against Portland Hearts of Pine to get that first win in the 98th minute. One of the most historic days in all of Texas soccer, especially in terms of just snapping that record-long 10-game winless drought to begin an expansion franchise and getting that monkey off their back, hoping that that could spark something greater, and so far it has. 2 straight wins, leading at halftime, but still 2 minutes of extra time to go. Walker back for Bolaños. Back towards center Waters. Waters has eyes deep. McLaughlin, only a clip. Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. Corpus Christi likely just trying to run out the clock for the half and take this in. They've been frustrated in games before, including the Richmond game, where they felt like they had the bulk of the offensive chances, and today no different. 5 shot attempts, 4 on target. But when they drew Richmond level, they were frustrated that they weren't up. But this time, they are up at the halftime break. Jake Keegan with 2, Sarasota with none, as we go into the halftime break, where we'll have to see how things pan out in the second half. But all things are going swimmingly for the Sharks as we get ready for our halftime break. Been a lot of action, but so far the Sharks are hungry for more. They're up 2-0. We return to Corpus Christi when we come back.
Children's Clinic and Urgent Care, creando futuros saludables. Nuestros pediatras certificados y el personal clínico brindan atención médica excepcional a los niños desde su nacimiento hasta la adolescencia, porque su salud es nuestra prioridad. Abierto hasta las 9 de la noche de lunes a viernes y hasta las 7 los fines de semana. Somos un centro pediátrico de atención primaria y de urgencias para niños. Pedicare Children's Clinic and Urgent Care, cuidando un futuro saludable.
Corpus Christi has brought professional soccer to the Coastal Bend. A team you can be proud of, rally around, and celebrate with. Come see the goal celebrations, the passion, and the high intensity.
Line out front, hammered from the spot, and the save again by Talbot. Strikes. What a goal!
For 18 high-energy home matches, come show the nation Corpus Christi has the best fans. Tickets are on sale now for every match at corpuscfc.com.
We come back to Cabinet's Athletic Complex, where Corpus Christi lead 2-0 in the opening half of play. Despite Sarasota being down, it has been quite a turnaround, especially since a really rocky beginning of the season. Although same goes for Corpus Christi. For Sarasota, they've been finding new ways to get things done, and especially over the last couple of matches, they're averaging over an extra goal per game. This is all coming in before today, and they're also averaging over a goal fewer allowed per game. And when you really have that blend on all ends of the pitch, especially within the 218 where Mika Ilavares said a lot of the complications really lied, that allows for results in the long term, especially because of just the combination of the great work as a staff and also the players, just how it's all evolved as time went on, especially with lack of familiarity going into the season. But in the last month, they really started gelling in a whole different way. And not only have they been able to make it work to recent results that they have had, but also even to the result of 2 players on Team of the Week in weeks 14-15 for Coach Mika Ilovara and Sarasota Paradise. Anderson Rosa is in the main lineup. Emiliano Tozagi is in the bench section. And you also cannot forget how the 1-0 game-winning goal by Bubu Medina, the game winner against the Richmond Kickers, puts him in that Team of the Week slot also. That is looking back at weeks 14 and 15, but as we look ahead through week 16 and beyond, we take a look at the experience, a video docuseries showcasing the history, passion, and community of USL clubs and their respective supporter groups. The latest episode showcases League One newcomers AC Boise and their support group, the River Guard, available now on usl.com/USL.
I think Idahoans have been clamoring for something that is theirs.
I feel a big sense of responsibility to do this right. You only get one first season.
For me, without soccer, it's like there's no air. Having it here, I feel like I can breathe again. Boise's never had anything like this.
Spokane opens the scoring. Carmichael volleys, it scores! And it's 3-1 forward Madison.
Now and then, you need to stop and smell the roses, or the leaves, rocks, trees, sticks, and that one tree again.
This summer, get 1,000 bonus points and a chance to win 250,000 bonus points.
Espectacular. Hay mucha fiesta, señor Martino. Hay de revancha, doctor. Pero falta gol. Estamos a esperar a Hugo. ¿Hugo Sánchez? Sí, tira para adelante. ¿Quién maneja? ¿Un futbolista? Llegamos por fin. Ay, bendito sea el chaper, doctor. Hugo, ¿regreso a las canchas? ¿Algún consejo?
Sí, confía y cree en ti.
¡Ey! ¡Vas al norte! A donde me dé la oportunidad, pero listo para dar el paso. ¡Listo, vamos! ¡Vamos!
goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Pedicare Children's Clinic and Urgent Care, creando futuros saludables. Nuestros pediatras certificados y el personal clínico brindan atención médica excepcional a los niños desde su nacimiento hasta la adolescencia, porque su salud es nuestra prioridad. Abierto hasta las 9 de la noche de lunes a viernes y hasta las 7 los fines de semana. Somos un centro pediátrico de atención primaria y de urgencias para niños. Pedicare Children's Clinic and Urgent Care, cuidando un futuro saludable.
It is halftime in League One. We'll get back out to the second half in just a bit. I'm Dan Lucas inside the USL studio with some of the headlines from the week. Charlotte Independence continued its hot streak last weekend with a 4-3 win over FC Naples. That's 7 League One victories in a row, 10 straight unbeaten in all competitions. Golden Boot leader Luis Alvarez has led the charge with 8 goals and 2 assists during that stretch. AV Alta heating up as well with its 1-0 victory over Spokane Velocity. The club is now unbeaten in 7 straight League One matches with just 2 goals allowed in its last 6 games. Last week, Sarasota Paradise acquired League One living legend Emiliano Terzaghi, and he contributed immediately with a goal in Sarasota's 2-0 win over Union Omaha. From 2020 to 22, Terzaghi made his name with 3 consecutive League One Player of the Year awards, the Golden Boot in each of those seasons, and a Players' Shield with Richmond Kickers. He now owns 63 regular season goals in his League One career. Upcoming national spotlight games in the championship and League One. Wednesday the 24th, Colorado Springs and San Antonio on ESPN2. July 1st, Spokane and Forward Madison on CBS Sports Network. And the next day, AC Boise and 1 Knoxville on ESPN2. This is the USL Halftime Update. Let's get you back out to your match. Corpus Christi come into the second half with a 2-0 lead over Sarasota Paradise. But before we kick off the second half of play, we take a look around not just what's going on here in Corpus Christi, but around the USL League One in its entirety as we take a look at the remainder of the weekend slate. Things actually got kicked off on Friday where Westchester had a commanding 5-1 win over Portland Hearts of Pine. I don't know what's really better, whether if it's the way that Westchester has really risen up or how expansion teams have continued to find a way to make their immediate impact right off of the gate, especially with Corpus Christi, the way they're doing things against Sarasota Paradise for Wayne with a 2-0 win on the road against the Richmond Kickers. Even some of the 2025 teams not doing too shabby either, with AV Alta bringing in the new home of Greenville Triumph. They win 2-1, and with Knoxville and Spokane in business, and also ACP and Union Omaha later on. We also continue onward as things are ramping up here at Cabinets Athletic Complex. We are moments away from the second half. We will have kickoff of the second set of 45 on the other end.
Pedicare Children's Clinic and Urgent Care, caring for healthy futures. Listen to Mom.
I love that they always have openings. They're always, available. You can come in usually the same day. So I'm glad that they have that. And like I said, the location's great. So it's convenient. I like that.
Open till 9 p.m. weekdays and 7 p.m. weekends. We are a pediatric primary care and urgent care facility for children. Pedicare Children's Clinic and Urgent Care, caring for healthy futures.
Corpus Christi has brought professional soccer to the Coastal Bend. A team you can be proud of, rally around, and celebrate with. Come see the goal celebrations, the passion, and the high intensity.
Line out front, hammered from the spot, and the save again by Talbot. Strikes. What a goal!
For 18 high-energy home matches, come show the nation Corpus Christi has the best fans. Tickets are on sale now for every match at corpuscfc.com.
Returning to Cabinet's Athletic Complex in Corpus Christi, Texas, where the Sharks have a 2-0 lead on the Paradise halfway through this match. Before we get on to the second half, let's rewind back to everything that's happened in the opening 45 minutes of play as we go through our halftime highlights. And there's a lot to talk about, especially with just how intense this game has been on multiple ends. Ethan Bryant with the first chance of the game, one-on-one with Talbot, got Roscoe beat, had Keeney chasing, but eventually pushed it over the bar. But in the 16th minute, Blake Bowen getting scrappy back and forth. Reed Valentine cuts right-left back to his left eventually, where he does force Amadeka to swat the ball over the ball. And only about a dozen minutes after that, in the 25th minute, it was a nice feed from the outside. Nacho Abayal to find Keeney all by himself. Some of the creativity to just backheel that one in the back of the net. You can see Amadeka is so far out of position. Keegan has Waters beat in body positioning, and Valentine could only attempt to chase it down to no avail. But 8 minutes after Keegan got the original goal, Jake Keegan, once again, all alone on a breakaway, just forces Amadeka down to ground to maybe force something, but to no avail on that aspect either. And just before halftime began, Keegan this time starting the offense instead of finishing it. Eventually the give and go went outside towards Nacho Abayal, who had an assist, was looking for a goal, but nothing was able to get past Amadeka there. He had a very busy first half of play. 5 shots attempted, 4 on target, forcing 3 saves for Amadeka. And it looks like we will see some changes made by Mika Ilavara. As we make our way back toward Cabinet's Athletic Complex here in Corpus Christi. Eamon Zayed's squad are on the front foot, a place they have not been very often, but a place where they can maximize their opportunities, at least so far in this match. Very similar to their halftime against Union Omaha. We will see the introduction of not only Emiliano Terzaghi, but also of Sander Ruud into the match. As both changes are made right at halftime, Terzaghi and Ruud are both in, and that is how we start the second half of play. Even though we are playing soccer in today's match, that was offside in the football sense, considering how everyone moved past the line before the ball even attempted to move. And we're underway for the second half of play between Sarasota Paradise and Corpus Christi FC. 2-0, they exited the first half. Both goals from Jake Keegan. As Ryan Leonard, our ESPN Plus crew, we thank you for joining us here in Corpus Christi, Texas, where Sarasota Paradise will go right to left in the all white and green. In the all blue, left to right will be Corpus Christi. for the Sharks. They're on the cusp of their 3rd consecutive win, and they are in the driver's seat as we sit. And basically the exact same the exact same substitution scenario as the last match out, where Terzaghi and Ruud were both in during the halftime break. And as they mentioned in the halftime update, Emiliano Terzaghi having quite a Sarasota debut, 1 goal and 1 assist. In the first match he had since coming over to Sarasota, he actually fed Anderson Rosa for the game-winning goal. Sander Rode had 1 goal and 1 assist the last time these two played, specifically back on April the 22nd, including the game-winning goal, which wrapped up the first match between these two in a 2-1 Sarasota win. Terzaghi got taken down from behind. This allows Sarasota to regain control. And you really have to just understand the lasting impact of both of these guys, considering that Mika Ilavara said that when you have those two on the field, it really sets the standard higher because of just how much they've elevated everyone around them, especially the entry of Terzaghi 8 days ago to Sarasota. Road to the middle. Fly ball, and it's caught by Talbot. Despite Amadeus being in the area, and Terzaghi the one to fish him out of the pile. The service by Sander Rode, and you had the attempted fly ball between Amadeus and Talbot. Although Amadeus does have the height advantage on Talbot, you do have to add in the factor that Talbot is the keeper and has that extra reach. But James Talbot, 3 consecutive starts. Today is pro match and pro start number 199 across all divisions. Spent the last 6 years with Bohemians in the top Irish division, which is his native country. For the 29-year-old, he'll turn 30 in April of next year. We saw the long service from Sander Rode, and it looks like he might have the same here. "44 yards out. Rode got blocked by the pile, and what a flick. Maybe a chance to break before Amadaka comes way outside his area, and even a ensuing foul as well. Anderson Rosa on his knees. Don't miss a moment of this inaugural season in Corpus Christi. Tickets are on sale now for all Corpus Christi FC matches. Buy yours today at corpuscfc.com or by calling 361-225-3316. It was a tale of two very different teams on very opposite ends of the spectrum in the first half of play. You had the 4 shots on target off of 5 attempts for Corpus Christi, despite having less of the possession. But for Sarasota, they had more possession just by a bit, 53%, but weren't really able to make anything work. Just 2 attempts, none on target. Maybe Bryant can generate something. He lifts it. Bolaños on the back end before Langlois smacks it out of play with the header. And this will give Sarasota the first corner of the second half. 81-degree day here in Corpus Christi, a dozen-mile-per-hour wind heading in the near side direction. So Rude will take the service, fighting against the wind. Way back in the middle, the header's up. Abel can't get it out. Bryant gets a clip. Top of the area. O'Dwyer goes down in a penalty. A half a dozen minutes in, this might change the complexion going forward as O'Dwyer goes down to ground and Sarasota will have a try from the dot. You have some of the franticness from the corner, and Chandler O'Dwyer just sidesteps, and you can see that clip on the side of the leg from Bubu Medina as Dwyer goes down. It will be Aaron Walker to take the PK. The player coach won the double in 2020, looking for his 20th USL League One goal. Walker scores. Sarasota's within one. Just a nice, simple penalty from Aaron Walker. Both he and Talbot go to their respective rights. And maybe Sarasota could build something. '53rd minute goal for Aaron Walker. Goal number 20 in USL League One in game number 175. A very lengthy USL League One career for Walker, considering that he first joined the league back in 2020 with Greenville. Won the double that season in that COVID-shortened season. But that's not without stops around the USL, including in 2017 where he first played pro in the US in FC Cincinnati back when they were in the USL. Lifted up by Rude. Rude recovers. Into an open area. He's got O'Dwyer alongside. O'Dwyer just drew the foul that forced the penalty as Kwakwa goes in the other direction, only to Declan Waters. Especially in the position that Sarasota were in against Omaha. They were tied at none. They were tied at 0 goals, but some of the substitutes may have drawn some belief as Terzaghi from range and just misses. According to Coach Ayman Zayed, even questioning if Emiliano Terzaghi still has that is just disrespectful to what he's done. Bolaños in the middle. Terzaghi, a very long strike. That had to be at least 20 to 25 yards. And nearly had James Talbot staring it down. But even Ayman Zayed said from goal scorer to goal scorer, there's a lot of respect for what Emiliano Terzaghi has done, not just in his tenure with Richmond, but even in the relatively tumultuous 6 months since. Only playing in 4 regular season matches across the first 3 months of the regular season with Portland Hearts of Pine. Just things didn't necessarily work out there. Maybe a bit of a fit, maybe a bit of a system. But by the end of June, he would make the transition from Portland down to Sarasota, where he reunites with Mika Ilavara, who was all part of that 2022 regular season title win back in way back when, where you also had some of the other members like Ethan Bryan and Chandler O'Dwyer. Jonathan Bolaños was on that 22 player shield winning squad. And at the very least, it's just add an element of experience and wisdom to one of the younger groups in League One. So we saw the first couple changes made by Mika Ilavara just at the halftime break. About 11 minutes after that, we see the first made by Ayman Zayed, Alexis Cerritos in the match for Jackson Dietrich. Dislodged. Bowen. Blake Bowen on an assist. Abiel lets it fly. Cerritos to the outside. Bowen. Steps in. Bowen, edge of the area, gets blocked. But it does stay with Corpus Christi. Tossed in deep, headed away, comes back towards Keeney. Leading the way for Bowen, sliding through, and it's held off by Amadeka. Begin your path with the pros with Corpus Christi FC Academy. Kids ages 5 to 18 can start building their technical soccer skills, work with a team, and compete with the best in the state. Head to ccfcacademy.com to register for the upcoming season. You had two teams who kind of had different trajectories getting to where they are now, where they're finally starting to find their form. Here's Road up the middle, outside. Terzaghi with a try, but it slants outside for a goal kick. The training room is the physical therapy and performance partner of Corpus Christi FC, providing resources and experienced staff to improve performance, prevent injuries, and get athletes match ready. Visit the training room at one of their 3 locations. An hour into the match, Sarasota got one back after Corpus Christi took the 2-0 lead. That stayed in play. Bowen lifts it across. Abayal to chase. Abayal eyes Rosa down. Kwakwa in the middle. Took a ricochet and scores! It's 3 for Corpus Christi. Enoch Kwakwa joins in. For Enoch Kwakwa, that's his first goal since the first week of April. End-to-end, Bowen for Abayal. And for Abayal, he just picks the easy option. Kwakwa with space, and that just goes off the body of Amadeus. He's just trying to keep eyes on Cerritos, and that just very clearly goes off of his chest in the back of the net. Amadeus and Amadeka could only watch as that rolls in, as Enoch Kwakwa gets his second ever goal in USL League One. His first was on April 4th against Westchester in that 5-1 shellacking up in Mount Vernon. And what a recovery it's been for Kwakwa, especially after going down twice in this match. Cerritos is wide. Cerritos just recently scored his 20th goal in USL League One after the 1-1 draw against Fort Wayne a couple of weeks back. That Fort Wayne match, for the record, was exactly a month ago today. At least the 20th in USL League One regular season play. Cerritos now 2 games away from the century mark in the USL League One, as Langlois wanted to lead it towards Abayal, and Amadeka will get it away. That battle's won by Medina. Bowen. Swarmed, dragged down, Cerritos takes it back. He goes down, advantage played, outside, Abayal back in, Bowen lost control. What a way for Waters to win that last battle with Blake Bowen. If he had time to set his feet and take a strike, that would have been a likely opportunity to score. Especially considering how Blake Bowen is not just leading the team at this point. Settle down, Bolaños racing around Langlois, but centers right to James Talbot. Well, Abayal and Bowen have been going pretty much in lockstep in terms of who can have the team lead in assists. Abayal now has 2 after that goal to Kwakwa. Bowen having the 1 on the second Keegan goal. That now boosts Abayal's total up to 5. Bowen's total shoots up to 4. And now for Nacho Abayal, he's only 1 behind the league leader, who is actually Sarasota Sunder Road. They and Ollie Wright lead the leaderboard going into the weekend. Sarasota retreating, the deficit back to 2. Mika Ilavara, when speaking to him in the midweek, he said that he believes that his squad and Corpus Christi are actually a lot more similar than either team really know, considering that they both have had very similar issues, especially in the beginning of the year, found form relatively recently, similar bouts of adversity for similar spans of time. And they really want to look out because Corpus Christi have found identity very close to what Eamon Zayed is looking for. Whether you're looking to get in shape, recover, or stay active, the Corpus Christi Athletic Club has everything you need. From fitness classes to aquatics to cryotherapy, the Athletic Club is where you can find it all. Visit them on Holly Road or CorpusChristiAthleticClub.com to get your membership today. Corpus Christi Athletic Club, live happy. Delayed yellow card comes up at the very end of that last sequence as you had all sorts of battling. Amadeus, Cerritos were within the mix. This was that last sequence, just jump ball. No one really able to get it. And maybe some of the time wasting perhaps from Cerritos by getting in front of the kick. We'll have to wait for the official report on that one, but it looks like it's Alexis Cerritos. So, with time being of the essence for Sarasota, only 20 minutes left to cut the 2-goal gap. Sliding down, Roscoe clears. Waters keeps it for Walker. The lone goal scorer, but that was on a PK. Bolaños, Terzaghi, both of them really exploding in that 2022 Richmond season, leading the way for Rosa. Sends it across, too high for Terzaghi, but enough for Rode to keep it in play. Rode on the volley for Bolaños. Langwa only as far as Rosa. Rosa curls it right to Talbot. James Talbot has been near perfect so far. He's been perfect in the run of play. Only one credited shot on goal. The only goal that was coughed up was on the dot. Way to keep it in. Abeal, 2 assists already. Abeal along the end line. Tried to roof it, but just too high. Taken back by Jake Keegan. Keegan on a brace, Abeal, the pair of assists. You also have Bowen in assist and Kwakwa, which is currently the 3rd goal. Langwa cuts inside. Abeal, edge of the box, he strikes and just too high. This was a nice attempt for Nacho Abeal. A bit more of a setup guy, but has been a little more aggressive going to goal. Abiel's availability was actually called into question because he was dealing with an illness all week. And they said he was actually going to be a game-time decision based on whether he was well enough to go for today's match. But here he is today, starting the turnover for Rode. Rode outside for Bryant. Sends it across, but it will go out. Tune in to CBS Sports Network Wednesday, July 1st for a USL League One showdown. Spokane Velocity FC hope to speed past the formidable Flamingos of forward Madison FC. 9 Eastern. Catch all the matches on CBS SN July 1st. Deep ball. Abiel cuts it down. Eyed by Rosa. Attempted curl for Cerritos, unsuccessful. Staying on that far sideline with Cerritos. Gomez comes in. Some of his first touches of the match. What a give and go. Langlois to center! Cerritos couldn't get through! So Sarasota will make only their 3rd change of the match. And this will be the end of the night of the goal scorer, Aaron Walker. He scored on a PK. His replacement will be Andres Rodriguez, the 22-year-old from Woodbridge, Virginia, former VCU Ram in his rookie season in USL League One. And they got to still look out because Jake Keeney's got a long toss. Header still loose. Waters away. Terzaghi turns and fires, but Gomez is the last man back. Outside for Rode. Rode lines it up and just misses. Not by much, however, as we are closing in on the final quarter hour of the match. Corpus Christi 3, Sarasota 1. Keegan with 2, Kwakwa with the 3rd, and this was the play of that last sequence where it's hard to tell whether it's aiming for Bolaños or going for goal, but either way, he missed. Corpus Christi trying to be the beneficiary of some home matches in a recent stretch. That's a handball against Cerritos. They're in the midst of a stretch with 6 home matches in an 8-game stretch. They do have another home game coming up against AV Alta, which will be their next regular season match. It's the final home game in a 7-of-9 stretch for Corpus Christi after starting the 2026 season with 5 regular season matches on the road. You could extend that to 6 if you include the USL Cup. And for Sarasota, they do get another corner out of it. They get 2 this half. Corpus Christi have only managed 2 the whole match. Anderson Rosa. And the gang of green Holtz play, John Matto, Melissa Beck, Edwin Moturi, and Edgar Garcia, the officiating crew. Eamon Zayed said the last time these two played back in April was the worst performance all season, where Sarasota just dominated them. One of the big motivations this weekend was to wash all that away and show a new Corpus Christi team hanging on to a 2-goal lead. Back post, Valentine, loose, and it is a Sarasota foul. Another change for Mika Ilavara. It'll be the introduction of Brandon Kruger as Ethan Bryant comes out of the game. Another first-year pro is Kruger. And for Kruger, this is only his 6th appearance, the rookie from High Point. Sliding through, Blake Bowen. He's got options. Bowen goes for goal and just misses. Blake Bowen had an assist earlier in the match. He's got eyes for goal. He's still very much in the race for the Golden Boot, but Luis Alvarez really pulled away over the last weekend. eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. And if you do download now, it should be done by the time the game finishes. Kruger. Too far for Rosa, but a good bounce gets it back to Sarasota. For Corpus Christi, not only do they lead with a dozen minutes left to go, but even longtime rivals Miko Ilavara and Eamon Zayed, much respect for one another, especially with their rich histories between Richmond and Coach Zayed's time with the Chattanooga Red Bulls, both as a player and even with the Northern Colorado Hailstorm as a coach. Ilavara saying that it's really good when teams have clear identities. Corpus Christi just took a while to get there, as did Sarasota. But these teams have mirrored each other more or less. And Corpus Christi can actually come within 2 points of Sarasota in League One standings if they can close out today. Abeal halts back. Will continue the forward progress. It was Aaron Walker in the 53rd on the PK, the lone goal for Sarasota. And Enoch Kwakwa would respond in the 61st, an assist from Nacho Abeal, the only 2 goals in the second half after Corpus Christi took a 2-goal lead in the first half, both from Jake Keegan. Rode gets it back. Sander Rowe to the middle before it is going to slowly roll out of play, as the USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on CBS Sports Golazo and ESPN Plus. Go to USLChampionship.com or USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings. We also are going to see the 5th and final sub for the Paradise, Jorgen Pedersen, comes into the match. Reed Valentine is the replacement. Maybe a bit of a different shape as well, as Valentine, the outside back, comes in for a midfielder. Bolaños on the outside on Langlois. Back heels, Road. Disrupted, but still in possession. Rosa. That took a clip. It'll go for another corner. Three and a half for Sarasota, 4 in the game, 2 for Corpus Christi, both in the first half. Rodriguez curls out, took a clip and just missed. That didn't miss by much. As this was just spinning out, and it was Emiliano Terzaghi who got the head on it. Corpus Christi have been so quick on the ball and doing a lot of this with only the one substitution made with Alexis Cerritos. Meanwhile, Sarasota have burned through all 5 subs and essentially a completely different look to what they started with fresher legs also. And Corpus Christi have been the ones flying. Here comes Bubu Medina. He gets cut down, Rosa with a yellow. You can really see some of the offensive threat of Bubu Medina as of late. He is still one of only 2 players on this roster with multiple goals, the other one being Blake Bowen. And Coach Zayad's been wanting Medina to be more aggressive on offense, especially getting up in the play and being aggressive with it. And maybe a move for Coach Zayad as he will make his second change of the evening. It will be Nacho Abeal, his 2 assists going to the bench. Kai-Him Thomas is the respective replacement. For Thomas, 23 years old from Trinidad and Tobago, has 7 caps as an international, including in the 2025 Gold Cup. He gets it off of Langlois, but lost it from Bolaños. Slowly rolls back towards Amadeka. Sarasota having to make up a 2-goal gap if they want to keep Amadeka's perfect record intact in regular season play. 2 wins, 2 starts for the 18-year-old from Ghana, who was in between the pipes in favor of the veteran Alex Sutton. But Corpus Christi, much more of the attacking threat so far in this match. You had a 4-0 shots on target advantage in the first half, and a 6-4 advantage in the second half on attempts, despite having much fewer possession throughout this entire match. They've just been really efficient when they do get the ball. Could they maybe want to pack it on and keep things rolling in their favor before they get a visit from AV Alta? Or maybe just content with killing clock at this point. Especially for an AV Alta side who have just really found something special over the last several weeks. Have all of a sudden become one of the top offensive units in the league. Forcing it ahead to Road. Roscoe draped all over. Bowen involved as well. And that is a foul against Pedersen. Sarasota trying to claim that it last went off of Corpus Christi out of bounds for a throw-in, but they're not going to win that argument. And not only will Corpus Christi have to handle AV Alta, but also they have another opponent immediately after within the top 5 of USL League One, as AV Alta have firmly planted their seed within the top 5 of the USL League One table, as they get a chance to play against Charlotte immediately after. Maybe a chance from distance, and the kick is through the uprights. However, wrong set. We gotta appreciate the attempt here by Chandler O'Dwyer, giving that a strike from 35 yards deep. His 90th USL League One game. Did score against Naples in the 3rd round of the USL Cup in the Battle for Paradise. And even scored relatively recently ironically enough, both in 2-0 wins between the road game against AV Alta at the end of May and the USL Cup game against Naples. And James Talbot, he has not been shy to accept a yellow card for time wasting as he did in the last sequence. Langlois tosses, leading Thomas. Thomas can't escape. Bolaños back for Amadeus. Pedersen. Maybe any sort of opportunity for Sarasota to catch up on Corpus Christi. They saw Corpus Christi do it here on this field very recently. It was only 2.5 weeks ago, where Corpus Christi had 2 stoppage time goals against Portland Hearts of Pine to erase a 2-1 deficit to win that game 3-2. However, here, Sarasota the ones down 3-1, and it'd be a lot to ask of them to recoup a 2-0 deficit. They did do so way back in March against Fort Wayne, but they also went down in 36th. Bolaños in the middle, too far for O'Dwyer, slipping and sliding before the attempt is blocked. It'll go for a Sarasota corner. Road to serve the corner. 4 extra minutes. Spinning out. Swatted out. Rosa. Bolaños. Streaking in. Wants a ricochet, but it goes off a body in blue. O'Dwyer outlets. Road. Centers. Off the bar and out! Inches away from a goal to get within 1 for Sarasota. Corpus Christi, a couple of tough matches ahead before they host AV Alta and go on the road to Charlotte Independence. A pair of top 5 opponents for the Sharks before they get a bit of a lighter end of their schedule. This was that last attempt. Road to center, and that was Terzaghi again. We saw the attempt early on in the second half where he heads it wide. And then there's a free kick here. Maybe something here on a free kick. Road. Curled. Headed out. Bit of a misplay by Andres Rodriguez. Kwakwa sends it down. Cerritos. Right by center. Cerritos with an escape. Gliding inside. Cerritos still with it. Wants to lead it for Thomas! Signed, sealed, delivered. 4 for Corpus Christi and 3 points in the 93rd. What individual effort here by Alexis Cerritos. He was able to escape all the defenders on the opposite side, just sliding on through. And right before he cut through those 3 defenders, he escaped at least 2 of them on the far sideline by the center line. Able to locate Thomas, slide it under Amadeka for his first USL League One goal for the Trinidad and Tobago International. Corpus Christi can ride a lot of confidence before AV Alta come here and before they go to Charlotte to play the number 2 team in the USL, the Golden Boot leader in Luis Alvarez, and the number 1 offensive unit in USL League One in Charlotte. This will bring a lot of confidence as all goals are brought to you by Pedicare, Children's Clinic and Urgent Care, proudly caring for the next generation. And after those 2 difficult matches coming up for Corpus Christi, their schedule will lighten up a little bit, considering that they'll play 3 straight games with teams under 13th place in USL League One, as that gets called back for offside. So you follow up with 3 matches against teams in the bottom 4, Chattanooga, the Cosmos, and Greenville. For Sarasota, this is the first of 3 road games. They go to Richmond, where Mika Ilavara makes his first appearance back in Richmond. However, without Darren Sawaski, he's in Eugene. And then they go to Greenville after that. Corpus Christi, 4-1. We're through 90 plus 4. Foul near center. What a run this has been for Corpus Christi after having the longest winless drought to start an expansion season. 10 games, 5 losses, 5 draws. And since that mark where they were dead last in the table, they have won 3 straight. The Sharks of Corpus Christi continue to feast. They win this one 4-1. Against their fellow expansion side, Sarasota Paradise. We are through the regulation minutes here at Cabinets Athletic Complex. And what a game this was, especially for Corpus Christi. The response they've had in their season since. How much further can Coach Zaya take this group? At the very least, they've won this game by 3 to win 3 straight. We wrap things up in Corpus Christi when we come back.
Pedicare Children's Clinic and Urgent Care, caring for healthy futures. Listen to Mom.
I love that they always have openings. They're always, available. You can come in usually the same day. So I'm glad that they have that. And like I said, the location's great. So it's convenient. I like that.
Open till 9 p.m. weekdays and 7 p.m. weekends. We are a pediatric primary care and urgent care facility for children. Pedicare Children's Clinic and Urgent Care, caring for healthy futures.
Corpus Christi has brought professional soccer to the Coastal Bend. A team you can be proud of, rally around, and celebrate with. Come see the goal celebrations, the passion, and the high intensity.
Line out front, hammered from the spot, and the save again by Talbot. Strikes. What a goal!
For 18 high-energy home matches, come show the nation Corpus Christi has the best fans. Tickets are on sale now for every match at corpuscfc.com.
We get ready to wrap things up in Texas. As they say, everything is big in Texas. Well, this win was huge for Corpus Christi, not just in terms of what it means for them today, but what it means for them throughout the season, all the struggles they went through, and how they even got to this point in the first place. But we cannot talk about what happened in the game without actually seeing what happened in the game. We take a look at our full-time highlights throughout 90-plus minutes of live throughout 90 minutes plus, and we go through our stats. And all things considered, Corpus Christi, they were just effective whenever they had it. They didn't really waste their opportunities. They didn't spray the ball all over the place. They were able to get chances, get them on goal, despite having less possession. And they've been able to find a bit of new confidence and new hope. They've got 3 in a row. How much further can they go with AV Alta coming in on Wednesday? As we wrap things up here in Texas. That will do it for all of us in our entire USL League One crew here in Texas. Corpus Christi make it 3 straight as they win by 3. As Corpus Christi FC with 4, Sarasota Paradise with 1. For our entire USL League One and ESPN Plus crew, I'm Ryan Lee. Thank you for joining us. Have a great rest of your night.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.